Chris, what was his name? Chris something. You
I
sent me
don't
the
know.
video of it.
Yes.
Chris, but who knew that motherfucker was right?
He was freaking right.
Who knew?
Retroactively feel like an asshole for all the negative things that I thought about this woman.
I retroactively feel like an asshole for everything I said about Brit. Like I feel really bad about everything I've said about Britney Spears. Like, I mean, listen, to be honest with you, when Paul Walker died,
Mm-hmm.
I think the first thing I said on Facebook was Paul Walker went out the way he wanted to go out, as a douchebag. And let me tell you, I have eaten crow about that statement because the more I learned about him, the more I'm like, I'm an asshole. That dude was an amazing person. He had a great family that loved him. Um, and I just felt like such a dick after it. I really did. I really felt like such an asshole after that. And I couldn't believe, like, he was just a great all-around person. And the more and this is what sucks about people. Like, you don't know what people are about until a lot of them die. Like, you really like, and I'm kind of glad I kind of know a little bit about Britney Spears now before she, maybe she's dead. Nobody really knows the real truth about it.
Yeah.
Let me put a little bit of this on. I mean, I hope we don't get stricken down because this is, this is from Rumble itself.
Yeah, we should be fine. Yeah, Liz Crow, like a bunch of people have copied. By the way, so this is from the documentary Slave Princess by Liz Crokin. This came out about 2 years ago in 2022. Many people on Rumble have actually like just put it up again.
Yeah, copied and pasted on their own page.
Yeah.
I put it in and I have to go to like the actual Slave Princess because it's not on Rumble. Like, when you put it in, when you put Slave Princess in, like the Britney Spears the first two are not Slave Princess. Like, you actually have to go to their profile.
Yeah. So, but I do highly recommend that people do watch this. It's yeah.
Imagine you're a 25-year-old young woman who has been forced to perform since as she could walk.
Times to cover Britney.
As she could walk.
She would love for new eyes to see her situation, but if she brings it up, she's constantly threatened that the conservators will take her kids away.
There's a little conspiracy going around that Britney Spears is being held against her will.
Maybe she is needing a conservatorship, and maybe her dad is helping, and these conspiracy theories are getting out of control.
That idea that Britney is a puppet who just gets moved around and told what to do is incredibly inaccurate.
It seems obvious that both Jamie and Lynn want her to get better. The conservatorship is in place to keep her healthy.
Well, we found out that that's a fucking lie. Conservatorship is not to keep her
children
healthy.
Doing all these tours, doing all these concerts. Someone who needs conservatorship is mentally incapacitated, and she is proven to do the opposite.
People manipulate young women, they manipulate kids. It's dark and demonic energy that this industry was built on.
Making anyone work against their will, taking all their possessions away, credit card, cash, phone, passport. The only similar thing to this is called sex trafficking.
Actually, I'll take another one, babe, if you don't mind.
There were people into my life that were just bad people, and I was very guarded at first, but then I went to a point where I ended up letting them in because I was lonely or whatever the fact, and I really paid the consequences for that.
which is precisely why you need to watch it.
Why you need to watch it.
It's a crazy, and we were talking about it. So we're gonna do multi-parts on this because there's just so much to cover. Because
Yeah.
of course she led me down a rabbit hole on YouTube on a channel called Deep Dive, and they do a multi-part multi-part episodes about Britney. Hi, baby Viking. What's up, senpai? Hi, babe. And phenomenal. Happy birthday. Whose birthday is it? It's your birthday, senpai?
No, it was my son's second birthday this week.
Lucas Oil?
Mm-hmm. I got Lucas Oil and Cooper tires, like keeping it North Carolina, like, you know.
Come on and raise up. Take your shirt off.
What's up, brother?
You.
So,
welcome to Fat Camp.
So yeah. So basically, I mean, I mean, you have points that you want to talk about. So what is the first, like, one of the first things that you?
It's a situation like this that I hate that I have ADD. Because I start one place, I go somewhere else, I come back, whatever. But, you know, I want to start with this. So I want to talk about the Slave Princess documentary. So like I said, it came out in 2022. Liz Crokin, you may know her from the Out of Shadows documentary. She actually used to be an entertainment reporter for a few different magazines, as well as like the Chicago Tribune. She was all into that. And she was following everything that was going on with Britney Spears and her conservatorship, which actually started back in 2008. So she has been in a conservatorship for like 14 years, like 12 to 14 years, somewhere around there. And what happened is that this whole Free Britney movement had started as people started kind of looking more into the conservatorship, the players in the conservatorship, legal documents that came out about the conservatorship, and finally helped with the push to actually help Britney get out of the conservatorship. And she does and Britney Spears does mention in the memoir of, what is it? The Woman in Me, at the end of it, of the acknowledgments, thanking the Free Britney movement for just being there and just, you know, giving her some light at the end of the tunnel. There are speculations on everything, even with the whole memoir of the Woman in Me book, people thinking that, did she actually write it? Is it like kind of like a controlled thing? Because she's got so many handlers around her.
So many. So
that, yeah. So, and like I was saying earlier, like sometimes people think like, oh, her Instagram, like, is she actually really in control of her Instagram? Because people know that there's several people. There's one that was mentioned in one of the deep dive things about a woman named Cassie who has access to her Instagram and stuff
her
too.
assistant.
And is some of it like AI? Is it green screen? Is it this? Is it that?
Cassie's had her like Twitter and this stuff for years, because there was one part, I don't know if it was in this one or the one on YouTube, where she was wishing herself a happy 25th birthday.
Yeah.
Like that she's like, what is she now? 42, 43? Or 1980, right? She's 44 years old. So the better part of almost 20 years, this woman has had control of her social media.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Well, I mean, I don't know how old the Cassie woman was, so it could have been like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, like I said, one of the things, Britney Spears, on one of her, I believe, Twitter accounts, Britney Spears or Instagram, it was saying happy 25th birthday to like me, to like Britney Spears.
Oh.
So like,
yeah, that's weird.
she's had her stuff for, like I said, almost 2 decades, or, I don't know if she still has it, but it was at least 15, 20 years that this woman had control of her social media account. So that's
Yeah.
insane to think. Like, when did this conservatorship start?
2008.
2008. So we're in 24, so 10, 16 years. She's been under this whole thing. And what they did to this poor girl is insane. Like, I was I don't know, I'm pretty sure it was in Deep Dive where they were just showing the timeline of her going crazy and the things that were going on and the news and the way the news is. But by the way, I said to Mama Jay, we were texting back and forth, and I said to her, the way what they did to Britney Spears is kind of like what they're doing to people now.
It's a formula to like get people to it's a formula for a narrative.
Yeah, basically they tell you you're crazy. Then they put the rap schmear, as Nancy Pelosi calls it. They give you the rap schmear, and they basically have the media and everything tell you, tell everybody that you're crazy, you're nuts, you're insane, you don't think.
You're
and then it becomes
conspiracy theorist.
And then comes part 3 with you become now all these conspiracy theories about Britney Spears and all this, and the conspiracy theories are saying that this and that and this and that, and it's like, no, it all comes true at the end, because 6 months to a year after that conspiracy theory starts, it ends up being true, and it's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. And this, go
ahead. Sorry, no, go finish.
No, I was gonna play the cartoon to kind of show by the way, the cartoon says by Lynn Spears. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say, after I personally did not read the book, I listened to someone read the book on the internet.
Yeah.
And
who read it again? What's her name?
That's a Prize Witness. I love this chick. Like, her work is amazing. That's a Prize Witness, or BJ Investigates on YouTube. She's great. She's part of the Free Britney movement. She's also in the Slave Princess.
That's where I knew her from. I was like,
Yes.
that lady looks familiar. And yes, because she was working for the law firm that for Lou, what's her face that's in here, the woman who took all the money from Kylie Jenner. She took the money from Britney Spears. Lou
Taylor from TriStar Sports and Entertainment Group. Yeah. So this woman that's a Prize Witness, BJ Investigates, she was working for a law firm at the time as she was looking into the Britney Spears conservatorship, found out that Lou Taylor's group had taken money from Britney Spears's foundation and put it into her own foundation. And since she found that out, then BJ's law firm told her that she needed to take her videos down off the internet.
All of them,
because they had
from every platform,
all platforms, because Lou Taylor and TriStar Entertainment had become clients of theirs because she worked at a big law firm in New York City. And she said no and quit. And so she continued to do all these videos, and there's like 57 videos about the different aspects of like court documents that happen in the Britney Spears lawsuit and conservatorship that BJ goes through. So you can watch all of them, and she from back in August of 2020, back in July of 2020, you can watch how she read through all the documents online and just posted it for people. So if you're interested in knowing every single intricacy of every line of those, you can go watch it on there because she has it in her own little.
So because I was watching it and I'm like, that girl looks so familiar. And then now that you said it, I'm like, okay, that's the BJ, because she was just like, so I quit, and she quit the law firm, and she was like, because there was so much dirty shit going on that she didn't want, and it was scary. And she still says to this day, she's still scared because she has no idea, because they still might be coming after her, and it's kind of fucked up. But this little, there was a lot.
So the Liz Crokin's thing was back in 2022. Since then, BJ actually had to give up her law license
Really?
because of all this. Yes. She had a video about maybe a year ago, and I like because I've watched her for a while. And so there was a video about a year or so ago of her she had to give up her law license because of some of this stuff.
What a corrupt what? By the way, the thing that jarred me the most was there's like 4 judges that's involved in this entire thing and a bunch of politicians involved in this whole Free Britney thing. And like
even Kamala Harris, even the vice president.
Holy shit. Yeah. The vice president was involved in all of this. But I want to get to the let's look at this little
yeah, so Lynn Spears wrote a book with a ghostwriter as well, like or whatever, called Through the Storm, and it was about her and her relationship with Britney and different things like that. So that's what this is. She didn't do I don't know who did the illustrations, but I know that the book is called Through the Storm. They are pretty they're pretty stellar.
Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there lived a beautiful girl named Britney. She could sing, dance, and do gymnastics, and everybody in the town loved listening to her perform. She would excel in everything she did, and to the outside world, she seemed to have it all. But home life was a hot mess. Britney's family were very poor. Her mom, Lynn, said they often had to rob Peter to pay Paul just to get by. Britney's dad, Jamie, had a really hard time getting his hands on money. After a long time of financial instability and a string of failed business of bankruptcy, Lynn threatened to divorce him many times when Britney was just a kid. Then there were rumors that Jamie was messing around on Lynn. And it was no secret he loved to shine up that Pepsi Max. Sometimes when Jamie was in a drunken rage, things got pretty rough. This one time, he got his juiced up scooter brown and tried to drive off with Britney when she was just 5 years old. Uncle Willie tried to reach down and grab the keys, but he got punched up instead. All while Britney was
By the way, I love that saying, punched up. He got punched up instead.
hysterical and crying in the back seat. One time, Jamie came home totally wasted and called Lynn a very naughty word. Then, he grabbed her glass of water and threw it across the room. This became just a normal day in Spears' home. But then Britney became a rich, famous, and beautiful pop princess, and they all lived happily ever after.
It's wild. It's funny what money will do. It's really funny what money will do. But like she, you know, her mother put her in these pageants, and then she went on to be and then she went on to audition for the Mickey Mouse Club. She was underage. She was too young because you had to be 10 to be on the Mickey Mouse Club. And she was only 8. So they found her a talent agency. You know, she kept working at it, and she finally got the Mickey Mouse Club. She was about to give it up, but she got the Mickey Mouse Club. So she went home. She enjoyed her holiday because she hadn't been home, I think she said, in 2 years or something like that. So like an 8-year-old not home for Christmas. Like, that sucks. She said, I just wanted to be home to get to see Santa.
Santa.
But I mean,
well, so so talking about this, it's just kind of like when you see, okay, so you watch The Slave Princess, it doesn't really go into a lot of how she got into the conservatorship. It talks more about the conservatorship, about like people who should be held accountable for what happened and everything. But if you look at kind of if you put yourself back in what that time was like, and just see everything that she was going through at that time, and then the conservatorship hits, like that would drive anybody crazy.
Yeah.
It's just It was a lot all at once. And what's really funny though too is like for me when I got my first Britney Spears CD was like what 1998, 1999 when Hit Me Baby or what came out.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Yeah.
My
And like I don't know if anybody remembers this, but that CD when you got it, they came in different colors. And I think mine was like a pink and it had a flower on it, but then other people had like different colored CDs.
Really? I've
I
only
didn't
seen the
know.
pink one.
Yeah. No, there's different colors. Like there's like a pink and I think there's like a green or something like that too. So they're different. But I remember when it came out, but from that time until when she was put into a conservatorship and things started going downhill was such a short period of time. If
Yeah.
you really think about it, like it just all happened so fast because she was only what 16
Yeah.
when
When Hit Me Baby One More
yeah,
Time was it? And
Baby One More Time came out.
and remember, like everybody was counting down like the fucking Olsen twins at that time till they turned 18. Like, remember
Yeah,
Britney Spears
and it
had
was
that post?
acceptable, and it was
Yeah.
acceptable.
It was absolute like listen, kids. Let me tell you about the 90s. They were
Yeah.
fucking wild. Everybody says the 60s was wild. I'm sorry. The 90s were the 60s on fucking steroids. They really were. I mean, if you've never seen the documentary on Woodstock 99, do yourself a service and go watch that documentary. People, the 90s and early 2000s, 90s and early 2000s were fucking wild. You had Howard Stern giving girls orgasms through the fucking radio. Okay? Watch Private Parts. That's a great movie too. But it was
He's
just
so gross.
but he was the first shock jock. He was
I
he wasn't
know.
the first shock jock. Imus was the first shock jock, but whatchamacallit, but Stern was the first one to just do, outrageous shit. Remember, Howard Stern also dressed in blackface. So when Howard Stern talks to you now about shit, you tell Howard
He's
Stern
all
to
like
take his,
self-righteous now, and you're just like,
he sells
dude, you had
kittens.
girls like masturbating and
Yeah,
shit,
I
and
know.
you had people talking about how they deflowered girls that were underage, like I don't know, Wilmer Valderrama and like
Danny Masterson.
Justin Timberlake talking about him and Britney Spears' sex life. That guy's
Cry me a river.
okay. Hold on.
Cry me a river.
Sidebar.
ADHD. Here we go.
Have you ever looked at a picture of Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel together? They're the same fucking person.
Yes.
They married themselves.
Oh my God. Can I tell you, most of the people in Hollywood who last a long time marry themselves? I'm sorry, but Rita Rudner or what's her name? Rita Wilson and
Rita
Danny
Wilson.
DeVito.
No, it was the first one. No, Rita Wilson
Rudner?
is
Yeah, Tom Hanks' wife.
Tom Hanks'
But even
wife.
them, they kind of look alike too now. Rita Rudner and Danny DeVito kind of look alike. Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel kind of look alike. Like, it's fucking strange. Like, they marry their opposite sex clone. It's fucking weird. But I want to play this the part. So what really fascinated me was everything that came together. Like, they had like this lady Lou Taylor. By the way, for a while I thought it was a guy because I was folding clothes and stuff like that, and I was going in and out. And at first, and then when it came to showing the Charlie Day, this is connected to this thing, I was like, oh, it's a woman. Because I thought, be honest with you, I thought they were talking about Lou Pearlman for a little while.
Oh.
I was like, no, I thought his name was Pearlman, and they keep Lou Taylor. I was like, I guess maybe, but no, I thought but yeah. But the way things all came together, it's just weird. And by the way, fucking Jamie Lynn Spears and her brother Brian are also in on this too. That's what fucking makes it really, really weird. Like, they're in on it too, and they're like, isn't Brian? They're younger. No.
Brian Spears is the oldest. Jamie Lynn is the youngest. And what I think is weird is that ever since the conservatorship was like quote unquote terminated, Jamie Lynn Spears has been doing her rounds on reality TV just to get paid. Like, she was on Special Forces. She was on there for like 3 days and then quit. She was on another reality show right after Special Forces. And I think she quit there, like, really. It's so, I don't know. It's
because they don't have any
she
more
needs some
money.
money.
She
Right.
has no
She needs
money.
money.
Sister and the rest of her family were knowingly complicit in her trafficking for their own personal gain. Lou Taylor has proudly displayed Prince as one of the many celebrities she represents.
Diddy, hold on. Go back. Sorry, I wanted to point that out earlier. If you go back and you see like all the people that, so Mary J. Blige, Sean Diddy Combs. I just wanted to point that out because of all the stuff that's going on right now with that thing.
Yeah. Yeah, she represents Diddy too. Steven Tyler, who's also been fucking known to dabble in young women.
No, him being considered a guardian for a young woman and taking her away from her parents so he could have sex with her when he's on tour because they didn't want to be considered trafficking an underage woman.
Yeah.
And then it's in his book. That's the weirdest. So it's in his book how he talked about how he got her parents to sign her over to him as like a guardian over her, and then like there's a theory that he tried to kill her because she was pregnant with his child in an apartment and set it on fire. She survived, and then he forced her to have an abortion anyway. What the fuck? Excuse me, but
And I love pressure, you know. Sorry for cuffing.
As one of the many celebrities she represents, specifically dealing with the post-mortem rights of his estate. And court documents show she was paid over $200,000 for services rendered. Then, on January 2nd, 2021, a dispute was filed by the IRS who claimed his estate had been undervalued by 50%.
The IRS saying it's worth $163.2 million and accuses administrators of undervaluing his assets by $80 million. America Bank and Trust, overseeing the late music icon's estate, it claims it's worth just $82.3 million. The IRS wants the bank to pay up over $32 million in back taxes.
Little is known as to the extent of TriStar's role in the massive discrepancy, but it represents yet another instance of significant misappropriation of funds suffered by one of Lou Taylor's famous clients.
Now, before we get into this, fucking Kylie Jenner, okay? Have you seen Kylie Jenner since this situation happened?
Yeah.
Have you? I haven't heard hide no hair.
Yeah.
Really?
Her and Timothy Chalamet or whatever.
Oh,
like,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, but that was what, 2 years ago that Oscars situation happened? Or is that
no,
I thought
it just happened like a few months ago.
The Oscars things where she made him look like a cuck, where he really looked like he really liked her.
Yeah, like that just happened like a few months ago. But I will say that the new speculation is that Kylie Jenner is actually broke because she's been doing like advertisements for like these weird little game apps.
Oh, they're everybody
being a sponsor
does.
for like little game apps or something. And like I guess like her makeup brand is going under or something now.
Well, let's see why her makeup brand is going under.
Can I just say real quick though, why do girls have those nails? Like, how the fuck do you wipe your butt?
I don't
like, how
know.
do you do that?
I don't know.
How do you shampoo your own hair?
It's weird. It's a weird thing. Like, I don't understand why you have nails. Like, how do you eat?
It's like this long.
I know. But I've seen girls with nails like this long and like have like fucking dangly things that like Like, once you wipe your cooter or your ass, like, does it not turn colors? Is it not like, do you not get
They
stuff
don't
like?
have. Well, they probably don't have the mood nail polish on.
But they're always in a bad fucking mood, probably. It'd always be fucking black. But no, they got like jewelry dangling from them. And it's like, how do you not get anything stuck anywhere? How do you not rip hairs out? Like, why? You know, they don't do anything. If your nails are that long, you don't have a fucking job.
You can't button up a pair of pants with those nails.
You can't use a pen with those fucking nails. You need a pen. You need ink pen at the end of the nails to write like fucking Freddy Krueger. It makes no sense.
Well, they may use it like an old-fashioned quill and ink situation.
You can't even wrap your hand around the pen like this. Like, you might be able to grab it like this, but you can't. You have no grip for this because you need your fingers. But like, do they write like this? Is this how they write?
I don't know. If there is anyone out there that has long nails like that, please, can you just like draw a diagram of how you drew your diagram so we know how you held your pen? Like, please.
It's just it's so weird.
Lou Taylor showed up in public records as a registered agent for Kylie Jenner's cosmetics company, King Kylie Holdings, and also Kim Kardashian's company, KKW Fragrance LLC. Kylie's company was then subsequently valued at $1.2 billion, and it was announced by Forbes.
Yeah, remember when all of a sudden she was like, everybody's like, yeah, she's gonna be the first billionaire, first 20-year-old billionaire, and it was a huge thing. And boy, it went south.
That she had become the youngest ever self-made billionaire.
Kylie Jenner just cut a major deal. The 22-year-old of Keeping Up with the Kardashians fame, of course, has agreed to sell a majority stake in her cosmetics line to industry giant Coty for $600 million. And the deal values her brand in total $1.2 billion.
Her legions of loyal fans praised her for her entrepreneurial prowess and business acumen, not realizing they were watching another one of Lou Taylor's possible scams playing out. Coty bought the massive stake while seemingly doing very little of the due diligence needed to determine whether the valuation was accurate. They invested over $600 million.
What?
No, I was going to say, like, isn't that what, like, the Trump case is all about? Like, or is it kind of like? I'm just saying.
Shouldn't she be going to jail? This is what I mean. All this stuff, and we'll get into it a little bit more. You know, all this stuff plays into everyday bullshit. All this stuff that we're seeing, this stuff is playing into all of this shit, and you're kind of like, oh.
But but the thing is like when it comes to the Kylie Jenner thing, it's not her, it's her mom. Her mom was working with Lou Taylor. Her mom was, as it's alleged there also by Ray J, that she was the one that had a conversation with Kim and Ray J about putting the sex tape out so they could, get that boost
pop
or whatever in fame because of what happened with like what is it, the One Night in Paris situation. That's when like having a sex tape leaked was like your fast track to fame back then, and there was a contract between Ray J and Kim for that. That's how Keeping Up with the Kardashians started. The storyline was about how skeevy Ray J was for releasing the sex tape. And then when the Kardashians stopped being on E and went to Hulu, what was their first episodes about? It was the same fucking narrative again about how possibly Ray J had a second tape of them back like 30 years ago before her nose jobs and shit. Like, And then Kanye was like the man hero who went and got his old Mac PCs that were clear and translucent from back in the day, because that's how long it had been since the first tape had come out. It was fucking weird. That's all I gotta say. But also, one other thing though too that not a lot of people know about is that Kris Jenner, she actually owns a church out in California. It's called California Community Church. And I don't know if that's some type of like money laundering thing, because a lot of times it is, and I believe it is like obviously a 501c3. But yeah, it's like
a lot of people start churches so that way they don't have to pay taxes. They become tax exempt.
All I have to say is grifters got to grift. I mean, like I have, as much as they're like evil, I have to appreciate the grift. That's, you have to.
There's
But still,
listen.
it's evil as shit.
Do you think I'm not a fan of that fucking Harry kid. The kid that's paid by the DNC to go. Donald Trump just got his ass kicked by Joe Biden. Like, I don't like him, but the kid makes money. The kid does what the kid does, and so you dislike him, but you have to appreciate the fact that the people are buying into it, and the grifter's going grift.
Of their shareholders.
My son just ran in here with a Nerf gun trying to shoot
According
me.
to the SEC, they completed the transaction in cash.
gravy.
Hi, buddy.
An unusual event for acquisitions of that size. Lou Taylor was a registered agent.
He's like, I'm already
at the time, so it was likely she played a key role in brokering the sale. Cody's shareholders then called the deal into question after they realized Kylie's company had been grossly overvalued. Forbes even retracted their story, citing that she most likely showed them fake tax returns. Since then, lawsuits against both companies were brought against Cody by disgruntled shareholders who realized their investments were squandered on these toxic and suspicious deals. Now,
So wait, hon, this is a $600 million deal.
Yeah.
Defrauding $600 million deal, and nothing happened.
Nope.
To any of them. Nothing.
Defrauded shareholders. There's just all they did was bring people, the shareholders and certain people brought lawsuits against it. She's still walking around doing nothing, doing whatever she wants. She's not being drugged through the mud and put in jail. She's not on trial for anything. She's just sitting there, pretending to play World of Yark on her phone, advertising for fucking the universe of Ding Ding.
Because her nails are so fucking long. She's like, this is how you play it.
You're gonna make me look it up. You're gonna make me look it up. Kylie
You have
Jenner,
to. Oh my god.
Kylie Jenner commercial.
Game app commercial. Yeah.
Kylie Jenner game app.
I think I have it.
All right, just go to share, represent. Or share screen.
Yeah, you see it?
Yeah.
These game ads, and I'm not really a gamer, but remember this name, Travel Town. When they asked me to partner with them, I had my doubts, but now I'm hooked. So let me show you. It's a match and merge game. I'm going to find things to match, and then you make something even prettier. Find more things to match.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to tap on the lightning.
That's it. I can't.
By the way.
Yes.
This is why I say, and I say it all the time in my personal life, she doesn't have crazy makeup on. It doesn't look like she even really has makeup on. She looks fucking normal. Women need to stop putting on an exorbitant amount of makeup. They really, really do.
Like
I'm
the
s-
Michaela, the whatever her name is on TikTok.
I don't.
That
I don't.
girl, I swear. Oh my! Do you know who I'm talking about?
No, I have no idea, but I'm about to look it up.
You have to look. First off, you have to look her up, right? Full makeup, and then she opens her mouth, and you're like, "Oh my god!" She starts talking, and it's just like it's night and day. You're like, "Oh my goodness!" She does amazing makeup, though.
Michaela makeup artist. Okay.
We're a little ADD right now.
Yeah,
but
we are, but
we'll
it
get
is what
back
it is.
onto it.
You'll love us. You love us anyway. This girl?
Yes.
Okay. So she looks fine. She looks fine. She's a little shiny. She looks fine.
No. First off, go towards the end of the video when her makeup is done.
And that's when my life completely changed forever. Go to pack 2.
All right, it's a pack.
Is
It's a pack
she
2.
from fucking Boston?
Yes.
Taste the honey sauce.
Got a pot.
I was like, oh man, her makeup is beautiful, blah blah. And then I heard her speak, and I was like, oh my god.
Let's go here.
Every week, I am sending boxes stuffed to the brim.
That's too much. Like, it looks like she put one of everything in that box on her face.
Could
like
be.
that's too much.
With makeup to my loyal followers. Let's completely stuff this thing. This week's box is going to Emma and
I can't. I fucking can't. I can't. I thought she was British when I first saw her.
Really?
I swear to God, I thought she was British. I thought I'd talk like this and be like, and then you put the makeup on, and then you got your eyebrows, and I thought and then she just comes out with that, yeah, we're gonna stuff this box here. We're gonna go for some bagels and some cream cheese later. I'm gonna go to Dunks. My voice actually hurts from doing that. But yeah, I don't. That's
I mean, she does great makeup. I think that she does do great makeup. But the first time that I watched her, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I heard her voice. I was like, that was not what I was expecting. Not at all.
Listen, like I said, I think Kylie that way. Because let's share the screen. Like that right there. Like, there's not a lot. There's not that much. Like, you don't need to look like Mimi from the fucking Drew Carey show.
Oh my God. She was my favorite with her blue eyeshadow and everything.
But it's like women are beautiful. Like, this is what as men, this is what we try to tell. Like, women don't need all this shit. Like, there was a girl, I do it in a video of a girl who was just like, yeah, I'm in this sweater and these pants and I got baby juice milk on me. And I went past this firehouse and these guys are just like, hey, pretty lady. And she's like, I can't believe, you want this? Like, yes.
By the way, nice melons.
She had them too, Homer, but still, like, women don't understand that that's what we don't care. We don't care. You can look like fucking, you just got out of, you just got fucking a leaf blower to the face. Like, we don't care. If we find you attractive, we're gonna find you attractive. Like, you don't need 300.
Well,
and then you have the girls like,
guess what? It's not all about you.
That's
it's not all about you. It's about me.
Yeah, and that's what's said. We don't get dressed up for you. We get dressed up for ourselves. Okay, then why do you get so angry when other girls start to bring you down? Why do you get angry when other women start to critique how
Because
you
we don't
dress?
like bitches and hoes. Listen, you want an answer to these philosophical questions? I can give
do.
them to you.
Listen, and I love the answers, but it's like, yeah, like we get dressed up first. Okay, then I just don't. I don't get it. Like I get it. Some girls have pop marks, and some girls have beauty marks and things that they want to cover up, redness in their face. Like I get it. Like I understand it, and you want to cover some of that. That's fine. Like if that's what makes you, but there's no need to put 36 pounds. Like I don't need to do this to your face and see my fingerprint indented in your face because that's not a real face. That's a plastic face. That's like
Well,
fucking.
technically, it's a makeup face, but
It's a fucking just. But yeah, I don't.
listen, I'm sorry that us women weren't graced by God as all of you men were, with natural good looks and everything, and nothing capable to help you enhance things that you would like to
Ma'am,
enhance.
ma'am,
'Cause you
ma'am,
don't need them.
I grow a beard so you
Whoa.
can't see my double chin. Are you out of your fucking mind?
If I did that, then it would just be frowned upon in the establishment.
Taste the honey sauce.
Where do you get fucking balls?
From my mother. Thanks, Stallone.
Ah.
Oh my
You know,
god.
our hormones go out of whack. We got one hair and we're criticized for eternity. We're called the bearded lady, for fuck's sake. So, listen, we got it rough down here in these streets.
I guess so. Out of it. So now I got to go through all these ads again.
Oh, yeah. So, all right. So, back on this whole thing. So, this starts talking about how Lou Taylor and Kris Jenner, how Lou Taylor had partnered up pretty much with Kris Jenner and some of the Kardashians in their businesses.
Okay, here we go.
For like financial stuff, obviously. And but one thing that isn't actually talked about in this documentary, but you can find out through like watching the deep dives and also through different things, is that it was before Britney Spears was actually put into a conservatorship, and Lou Taylor helped spearhead the whole conservatorship thing. Britney Spears complained about how she had a stalker named Lou Taylor that had no idea, and was afraid that this woman was going to get a hold of her parents and control of her, because she kept stalking Britney, sending things to her home, even though her home wasn't listed. She didn't know how Lou got that information. And then you come on to later find out that Lou Taylor also wanted to put Lindsay Lohan in a conservatorship. Because for those who don't remember or don't know or wasn't paying attention at the time, back in like the late 2000s and early 2010s and such, it was like this whole streak of bad girls of Hollywood type thing. There was crotch shots, there was partying in the USA, there was a lot of DUIs, going to jail for 10 days or 12 hours. It was the Britney Spears, the Paris Hilton,
Nicole Richie.
Nicole Richie.
Nicole Richie. Yeah, I mean, but
Lindsay Lohan and a lot of people, Misha Burtons, they were all going to rehab. They were all going to jail. They were all getting DUIs, and the paparazzi were out there filming everything.
Well, Britney Spears was dating one of the paparazzos, and that's one of the guys who started the up the skirt thing, because he was trying to get her in the most awkward positions. No pun intended. No, most awkward positions to try, to get that stuff out there. And he was giving out personal sexual details about them, their personal sex life. The guy was giving out, to radio shows and stuff like that. And it was just she was being used for all this stuff. And the paparazzi are just, I mean, they've always been gross.
It was bad during that. It was worse during that time, because they had there weren't paparazzi laws like there are now. I think it was
No.
back in 2010 is when they actually started implementing paparazzi laws. You would think after Diana and like what happened in the tunnels, there might have been that, but no. And like you'd have, I mean, there was like video, because this was like during the rise of TMZ and the Perez Hiltons and all those different types of things. Like you had celebrity rags beforehand, but not like this. It got intense. It got very intense. And with the onslaught of the internet, it was like all over, and people were getting like thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars just for a photo of things. Like one paparazzi was saying that he could have lived in the Hollywood Hills for just getting a picture of Britney Spears with her son. Just one picture of Britney Spears with her kids. You get that money shot, all the newspapers and outlets are paying for you to get like that photo.
Trying to get to where they said that.
Oh yeah, but anyway, so I think Michael Lohan had been very, very vocal about how Lou Taylor was trying to get him and his wife or ex-wife to put Lindsay Lohan in a conservatorship while she was get her to be put into rehab so they can claim that she's mentally incapable of like taking care of herself, so they can put her into a conservatorship. And that's what happens. And Britney Spears' conservatorship was horrible. She was actually placed on a 5150 twice. And then they put her in a conservatorship by they had a doctor sign off basically saying that she had dementia at 26 years old or 27 years old. That she had dementia. Not bipolar. Everyone is reporting like bipolar, but it was like dementia. It was written in the conservatorship itself. But then yet she can go out and do all these tours and residencies in that time with dementia. And like they threatened her to like take her boys away and take her visitation from her kids away.
Well, all right, I didn't want to play it until like next week, but I want to play the Perez Hilton bullshit because listen, Perez Hilton.
Yeah, we can end it early too today, so then we can save everything else for the next time too.
Perez Hilton has always been a piece of shit. Recently, Perez Hilton has gotten a lot of flack within the last year or so about how he is being treated by people. And we need to not forget the Perez Hilton, his whole website was dedicated to making fun of women and straight people and drawing cum bubbles on Lindsay. Thank you, baby. I appreciate you. And drawing cum bubbles on Lindsay Lohan and cocaine on Lindsay Lohan and all this stuff. And now all of a sudden, he wants to come out and fucking have a voice for some people. No, Perez Hilton can go fuck himself because he's a scumbag. He's always been, and he was a scumbag and he always will be a scumbag. And he does it for popularity points.
He perpetuated all of it.
Yeah.
At the center of all of it.
Few months, while they would be brutal, would have several pop culture defining moments and would change Britney's career forever.
Although she hit a parked car trying to escape paparazzi and got charged with a hit and run, August held a lot of positive news for Britney as well, as rumors of a surprise VMA
Today called it truly forgettable. The always unkind New York Post jiggled.
Oh, okay, yeah. So this is talking about Britney Spears's I think it was like 2007 VMA, Give Me More, the now infamous
kiss with
performance that everyone that
wasn't the kiss.
No. This was the VMAs. Like Britney Spears was opening up for the VMAs. I believe it was the VMAs or the MTV Awards, or I don't know. It's one of those awards shows. She was opening up for them, and in Las Vegas, so it was the VMAs. And she did the performance, this one, in that outfit. And everyone it was saying, like, they're like, oh, it's Britney's comeback, blah, 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 blah. This is after she shaved her head, different things like that. And it was like touted as like one of the worst performances ever. It looked like people were saying like it looked like she didn't know what she was doing. Apparently, Chris Angel was supposed to perform with her and dropped out last minute. This was in her book.
But this is
But
Perez
anyway,
Hilton.
this before
saying, "Dear Britney, you. We are insulted, offended, and disgusted by your performance at the VMAs. Are you f***ing serious? What you did was disrespectful to your few remaining fans, and it was disrespectful to MTV. You didn't even try. You should have just canceled, bitch. Your performance was beyond pathetic. The old Britney Spears, who was at one point, a long time ago, truly great, would be embarrassed by your lack of professionalism and utterly appearance at the VMAs. Where was Chris Angel? Where was the magic? And by magic, we don't mean any tricks or illusions. You seemed dead on stage. You have lost that spark and shine that used to ooze out of you. We all know you lip sync, but you couldn't even do that well at the VMAs. And you barely dance. You couldn't even get good hair extensions. You have no one to blame for your failure but you. There was no way you were going to be good. You were out partying every night before the VMAs for 3 days in a row until almost sunrise. You were probably still drunk or high during your performance. You almost tripped a few times, you f***ing mess. No bullshit excuse that you or your camp will come up with can make up for how pathetic your performance was. A true professional will deliver no matter what. Let's repeat that. It's worth repeating. A true professional will deliver no matter what. What you did was inexcusable. This performance went down as one of the most iconic moments in the Video Music Awards history, and it became...
Yeah. That was Perez Hilton. Sorry, not Paris Hilton. That was Perez Hilton's column on his website. That I believe, I don't know if all that stuff is archived, but he probably took it all down. But yeah, that was how Perez Hilton spoke about Britney Spears. The guy who goes out and tells everybody that, to be sorry for him and all this stuff. And I haven't seen a lot of his stuff, but lately, because he was on TikTok for a hot minute and he was back in the spotlight. But yeah, he's a disgusting human being. Let's not forget. You can't just Jamila Hill everything and just be like, well, no, my thing was hacked. Or, no.
Oh my God, Joy Reid. I
Reid.
didn't say those homophobic things. It was my Twitter was hacked.
Yeah. So these people saying these things, knowing these people knew what was going on. These people knew what was going on because it's in here and it tells you. I'm trying to get to that screenshot that I showed you because they did it.
Can I?
Go ahead.
Can I go? I'm going to go real quick. I'll be right back. I promise.
Okay.
All right.
Because
sorry.
Oh, you okay? Because they do it in 3 stages. They did it in 3 stages when they did it to Britney. And I'm trying to get to the 3 stages of what it is because it's basically, I think we spoke about it, where they make her seem crazy. And then oh, here it goes. Wait, did it go? Where did it go? Oh, let's first let's go to the web of people who are involved with all of this. By the way, that's BJ, the one we were talking about.
Fired me from that job ever.
While Lou Taylor may be the head of the conservatorship snake,
these are all the people that are involved in her conservatorship. You have Lynn Spears, Jamie Spears, father, mother, Brian Spears, her brother, Jamie Lynn Spears, the sister. And these are 4 judges that are involved. These are her handlers down here. These are the accomplishments and the lawyers that are involved in all of this. And then there are politicians who are involved in this. Even like she was saying, Kamala Harris, who took away somebody, I'll get to it in a few minutes, but she was involved with being a part of taking away another famous singer's family's recording rights.
the rest of the Team Con parasites, like Sam Ingham, Vivian Thoreen, Judge Reva Getz, Judge Brenda Penny, Brian Spears, Larry Rudolph, Andrew Wallet and Jamie Lynn have stood by and watched, each playing their part to convince the world that Britney is perfectly happy and that her money is safe. Perhaps saddest of all is that her own parents allowed themselves to be used as puppets to falsely portray a wholesome public image of a devoted family whose only interest is their daughter's well-being. The reality is they all conspired to propagate the hideous, widely accepted lie that Britney could not care for herself so they could continue to watch her hard-earned wealth in perpetuity. And they will continue to get away with it until a formal criminal investigation is done into Lou Taylor and her spiderweb of suspicious business dealings that citizen journalists in the Free Britney movement have been exposing for years.
You want a piece of me?
Trying to get to that screenshot that I showed you of how.
Yeah, it should be in the meat. I think it's right
There it
there.
goes.
Narratives favorable to
Okay.
the conservative.
So here it is. It's in 3 stages. And this is what I was talking to Mama J about. You should be used to controlling things the amount of times I have to pay. Yeah, I know. So this is what they do. And this is what I'm saying nowadays. They do this to everybody, no matter what. This is what the media does. They go and tell people that they're crazy insert, crazy Trumpsters, crazy Democrats, crazy, well, not Democrats, but crazy Trumpsters, crazy Republicans, crazy right wingers. Then they go, there's nothing to see here, folks. You know, we're not giving away it's a TikTok ban. We're banning TikTok because they take your money, because they take your they have the algorithm and they know how they influence the algorithm and influence your kids and
They're
this and
spying
that.
on you.
Yeah,
Whoops, that's us.
they're taking your personal information. They know your bank account. Don't give them this. And then they go, listen, anybody who tells you anything different, they're just conspiracy theories. They're just conspiracy theorists, and they're crazy. Don't listen to them. They wear a tinfoil hat. You know, MAGAs are the ones who are causing all the domestic violence. MAGAs are the ones who are causing all the racism and all this stuff. You know, they're just conspiracy theorists. January 6th, it's a conspiracy that these things are happening, and these people have all this influence. It's the same thing. They did it to Britney Spears. And the way it's broken down is insane. And when you watch things like this and you kind of associate it with everything, it's like, holy shit. If they could do this to this poor girl who was just trying to live out her life, the Restrict Act. Yeah. Yeah, by the way, TikTok ban got put through Wednesday.
Yeah.
We will talk about that because they were fucking holding the flags up of Ukraine on the house
I don't
floor.
want to. Let's not talk about that right now because I really don't want to be mad. Even though this makes me angry, I was watching this, and it could be because I'm like fucking exhausted. Like I said, I had a 2-year-old's birthday yesterday. I made a lot of food. It was a lot. And then I didn't sleep last night. So I was watching this about the Britney Spears thing. I just felt so bad. I like wanted to cry because it's just like, Jesus, no one let up. Like no one let up.
There was a
on her. It
portion
was like
of the
hit after hit after hit.
her dad's law firm was charging his own daughter $1.2 million.
To get her into to fight against her.
Yeah.
She was paying for herself to be stuck in the conservatorship that she didn't want to be in.
Yeah. Yeah. He was charging his own daughter to put her in. And they had one one section of it was called Media Matters, and they spent $800,000 for press against her.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, and you watch all these people just go and ridicule every little thing that she did, to the point where you understood why she went crazy and shaved her head. Like, you understood it. Like I said, when I was talking about Paul Walker, and like you see all this stuff now, when you look back, you go, holy shit. She was right to shave her head. She was right to go after the paparazzi, because if you watch it now, some of the paparazzi just wouldn't let up. Like, she was trying to find a memory card on the floor, and you had 10 paparazzi standing around. Brittany, where is it? Brittany, did you find it? Brittany, do you love us now for finding it for you? Brittany, do you love us now? Brittany,
Right.
what about this? Brittany, Brittany, we love you. Brittany, we love you. You know, like, and it came to a point where after her second trial, I believe. So the first, she was restricted from driving because she got into an accident. She hit a parked
She
car
had hit
because
a parked car, right.
she was surrounded by paparazzi. And then she was given the rights to have her kids. And then the right for her to drive with her kids away was drive her kids in the car was taken away, because after the trial, her house was surrounded by paparazzi, and she ran over a paparazzi's foot. She sued her. She went back to the court, and the court said, you're not allowed to drive with your kids in the car anymore because of this. Could you imagine having people surround your car? You go to drive into your own driveway. You can't see, and you run over somebody because it's surrounded by people. And now they tell you can't drive because
Right.
of something they did. Like,
Right. It was the only thing of freedom that she really had to do is to drive herself and her kids places.
And they just
Well,
keep
and
things away from her, and making her rely on people, her inner circle, that was doing nothing but using her to get everything that they wanted. And they're like, and I was watching, one of the things was showing a TMZ. I don't know if it was on here or the other one, where TMZ was literally going, oh, she just came out of her mental health rehab. She looks fine. Does she look like she's not having a good time? And yeah, she looked like she didn't like where she was. Like, she was not in a good mental state, and they would just keep fucking with her. And then her dad put her on lithium.
They put her on lithium, for fuck's sake. That
if
could
you
kill
read,
you.
Which, if you read the book, is what her grandfather did to her grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Like, if you listen to the book that BJ reads, and listen, I listened to it for a little while, and tried to just read the fucking book, BJ, for the most part, please, because I don't want your fucking, well, women are oppressed. Me and Amanda had this argument, discussion. We don't have arguments, we have discussions, because she gets it. See, this is one thing I love about Amanda, is that she gets it. She knows I'm not serious when we have these conversations, and I can joke about these things, and we can have a good fun time with it, because she knows who I am. And I feel like some of the people in my past just don't understand me. Like, they really don't. I feel like I'm pretty easy to understand. I don't take a lot of things seriously. When I do take things seriously, though, listen, it's serious. But we were having a conversation. She said something about today at breakfast. We were talking about last names, right? And she goes, that's because women don't have a lot of rights in this country. And my head almost snapped off looking at her, because she was sitting next to me. And I was just like, excuse me? She goes, yeah, because women have to take the last name of the man. And I go, wait a minute. Okay. It used to be like that. Nowadays, if the woman wants the man to take the last name, the man can take the last name. Okay. So it's kind of, yeah, she doesn't need to.
You have to go to the Social Security office to change your last name. If you don't want your name changed, you don't have to do it.
But even though, so I was saying to her that nowadays you can get a man to change his last name, right? And if a man changes his last name, he has to go through the same thing a woman does to get his name back. In the divorce decree, you have to decree that you're allowed to change your last name back, or else you can't. So I said, so if a man changes his last name, and then they get divorced, and the man wants to change his last name back, he has to go through the same thing a woman does to get his name changed. So can you tell me where there's more laws that are for against women than men? It's not, especially with that doesn't happen. It's not a thing. Like, so if a woman wants to get her name changed back after a divorce, yeah, it has to be in the divorce decree. Same thing with a man. So it's and the thing that's what's wrong about it is it's more socially acceptable for a woman to change her last name than it is a man. So yeah,
Yeah.
but if you're a man and you change your last name and all of a
But
sudden your boys will be like, "Oh, you're fucking gay. Oh, you changed your name to the we see who wears the pants. She's the one who changes the
I
tie,
would
doesn't
say the
she?"
same thing, but it's okay.
She bends you
But
over,
no,
doesn't she?
but
She
wait,
teaches you a
I will
lesson.
say though, as a woman, when you get married, no one tells you the amount of bullshit you have to go through to get your name changed.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I was like, what the fuck? You had to
it's like
change
you're
everything. I
reborn.
have to get a new passport and everything.
It's like you're reborn.
I
Like,
know. It's weird. I have 2 different social security cards. I'm like, who am I gonna be today? I don't
I don't know. I'm voting. No, I got 2 different social security cards. I can get, but yeah. So it was like, and we both like we laughed about it and stuff like that, which is what I love. Like we can have that like little conversation and laugh about it, and not no, it's not serious because it doesn't really fucking matter. People who have those people who argue about that shit are just like are weird to me. Like it's not something that like you need to argue about. You could have a silly, stupid conversation like we did. But yeah, I'm sorry to go off on that tangent, but it was just like, but yeah, Britney just the fact that she got her fucking license taken away because people crowded her and she was trying to
She
just
didn't
drive.
get her license taken away. Just to make it clear, she didn't for that instance. She was told by the court she couldn't drive with her kids in the car
Yeah, okay.
because it was dangerous because of how insane and animalistic the paparazzi was.
But that's not her fault, and that's
No, but I
what's
mean,
yeah. But it was
rule of
an in.
safety.
Yeah, it was the in of trying to take something away from her that, that wasn't necessarily her fault, but everybody was in cahoots with it, to try to just turn her crazy, just to make her seem like she was nuts, and she wasn't. And I didn't know
Yeah.
this, but they changed her voice.
Mhm.
She was singing more like a Whitney Houston when she was younger, and then they changed her voice, which kind of made me realize why she still talked kind of like in that kid voice, but also the drugs and everything she was on. So she's stuck in the Arrested Development.
Well, I can kind of agree with that. If you listen to Paris Hilton and how she would talk, like, oh my God, that's hot, right?
Mhm.
And how high her voice is. Have you watched any of This Is Paris at all about like her experience at Provo Canyon and everything? So it makes me feel like it's almost like a trauma response. Like, so it's almost like a protective shield. Like a lot of times, like people who have anxieties and stuff, I actually learned this, like they like to wear glasses a lot or sunglasses or stuff because it's like just a shield between like
Like
just to protect
Frankenstein?
yourself.
Like
Well,
Frankenstein
no, if you
from
listen
Big
to
Daddy?
a lot of yes, yes. But if you
Julian.
listen to some of Britney Spears' interviews, she talks about how she's very protective of herself. And a lot of times when she's talking, when she has the guard up, her voice is high. But there's a lot of times in different interviews where she's feeling more comfortable, where her voice is normal. Like that's her normal voice. And that's how it is with Paris Hilton. If you look at how Paris Hilton's voice was back in like The Simple Life and stuff to where it is now, it changes in different interviews depending on how comfortable she is. So I think it's more of like a defensive
yeah.
mechanism type thing.
Well, now I feel
But
bad
they
for Paris.
did make her voice, but they did tell Britney Spears to sing like that nasally thing instead of
Well-
her lower voice because they wanted her to be like do like the whole pop thing, and they didn't want her to be kind of like the soulful Whitney Houston type. So
Listen,
yes.
I hate you now because now I'm rethinking of. Listen, I hate you because you made me watch this and made me feel bad for Britney
I
Spears. Now
know
you're making
you
me
you
feel
text me and
bad.
said I hate you for making me feel bad for Britney Spears, and I was like,
So
good.
I'm now because I was a huge Opie and Anthony fan, and now I'm rethinking about this in my head now that you said that. She went in to interview with Opie and Anthony and Jim Norton, and she was wearing her glasses, and she had that it's hot, it's great. And now that you said that, I'm thinking about it. She was probably very uncomfortable being in that male kind of dominant room where she's not used to them. And now that you say that, it's kind of like, oh yeah, she was probably very uncomfortable. Didn't know the situation, didn't realize what everything was about. Probably they lied to her and told her one thing, and it was something different because she was just like, I want to just talk about my book. I just want to talk about the book. I just need to. So yeah, you're right. It was probably a defense mechanism. She didn't know what she was getting into, and they probably were just like, yeah, you gotta do the show. It's great, or blah blah blah. Or just do it for the press. And now that you said that, yeah, now I feel bad for her. You know,
It makes sense though. I mean, if you have no control over anything else in your life except for, I guess, your voice, really,
yeah.
like how you present it, makes sense. It's the only way to protect, like you feel like you can protect yourself. It's the only thing you got control over.
And you go into like I forget what it's called, but Amanda says I do it all the time. Where you just space out and like you
Mhm.
don't like if she's still watching, she'll tell it. But you just I do that. I just all of a sudden I'll just space out when I get like to a space where I'm uncomfortable or uh, it's like a trauma response where you just fade away and you just start staring at something and you like in your mind I've had that before. I've done it before. Like I've blacked out driving before. Like I've like woken up somewhere else. Like I've like next thing I know I'm just in a different spot and I'm just like what how'd I get here? You know?
Yeah.
And it's kind of scary to know that your body can just function like that.
Dissociate like that?
That's it. That's it. Disassociate. That I disassociate. And I do. And I didn't realize that I did it as much until she pointed it out because she'll just go, "Hi, welcome back. Disassociate much?" And I'm just like, "What? Did you not just hear
Yeah.
the conversation I just had with you? I'm sorry." Like I just, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's a disassociation. And she probably, have had thousands of interviews where she just doesn't even remember because she just disassociated from it because of it, and I couldn't even imagine, I really couldn't. These some of these people go through a lot, and we just see what the news portrays them to be. We don't
Mhm.
know them, and
Well,
and
yeah, and we're always fed a narrative with how the language in which that they're using elicits some type of like emotional reaction within yourself. Like, like all the narratives of us always thinking like Britney's crazy, she's a crazy person. Look at what she's doing, and not really taking the whole into effect.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
so,
But I know next time, I do want to talk how kind of like politicians and different things have come into play when it came to the Free Britney movement. There was an act that was presented to the House by Charlie Crist and Nancy Mace. I think later on, Eric
and who
Swalwell and Darren Soto had also signed their co-sponsored this bill. It was called the Freedom. Hold on, I have it right here. It's like, what did they call it? I have notes. I have a lot of them. It was the Freedom and Right of Emancipation from Exploitation Act, also known as the Free Act, also known as the Free Britney Act. I want to talk.